The Nuggets last season had an underwhelming year, as after being eliminated in the second round of the playoffs in the 2024 season, they hoped that they could bounce back and raise the Larry O'Brien trophy once again in 2025. But that wasn't the case, as they had a shaky regular season that saw them fire their head coach in Michael Malone, who they had won a championship with, and their GM in Calvin Booth near the end of the regular season. Now, in the playoffs, they would beat the Clippers in a competitive 7-game series before they faced off against the eventual 2025 champions in the Oklahoma City Thunder. And while they gave the Thunder a serious run for their money, it wasn't enough, and the Nuggets were outed in the second round once again. Denver's future outlook was starting to look concerning because of this. But they had a tremendous offseason this past summer, and heading into the 2026 season, I'm here to explain why this team is going to be a title contender once again with their offseason additions. Now, of course, before we do get started, make sure you hit the like button if you guys end up enjoying the video, since it really helps out the channel. And if you guys are new and enjoy content like this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one you're watching right now. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get things started. Now for this next part, I'm going to hand the mic to my man Sly Kai. He's one of my favorite NBA YouTubers, and he's been a big supporter of the channel for a while now. The link to his channel, it's in the description below, so make sure you guys check him out. But with that said, take it away, Sly Kai.
The Denver Nuggets did fall short in the 2025 NBA season in the second round to the eventual champion OKC Thunder, but with them still having members of their title core such as Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and even Christian Braun, who just had the best season of his NBA career, they will be very competitive this upcoming season. Matter of fact, with their offseason additions, there's a strong case that they're a top 2 team in the West. The biggest move that this team made in the offseason was trading away a mainstay in Michael Porter Jr. along with the first round pick to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for Cam Johnson, and this was definitely a win for both teams. The rebuilding Nets got a first round pick to take on Michael Porter Jr.'s deal, and the Nuggets made a great cost-saving move by taking on a player who makes considerably less than MPJ. With Jokic, Murray, and even Aaron Gordon all on massive contracts, this move was necessary. MPJ was set to make $38.3 million next season and $40.8 million for the 2027 season, whereas Cam Johnson's deal spans the same length and he makes around $22.5 million over the next 2 seasons. From a basketball fit, this trade actually improves the Nuggets as well. MPJ does get a bad rap for playing hurt in the playoffs and not showing exactly what he can be as an invaluable 6'10" off-ball threat who shot a career 41% from 3 on 6 attempts a game. However, Johnson provides more consistency than MPJ, took a slightly higher volume of 3s at 7 a game at 39%, is a good mover off the ball who can cut and is a good movement shooter, and shot 40% on 5 catch and shoot 3-point attempts a game this past season. He shot 43% on corner 3s, 38% on above the break 3 attempts, and can operate quickly off the catch, put the ball on the floor, and finish well at the rim. He finished at 69% within 5 feet of the basket and 71.4% within the restricted area. On top of being a great off-ball threat next to Jokic, he has a good feel for the game and is a better decision maker on the ball than MPJ, especially as a playmaker. Additionally, he has some self-creation ability and is solid on the defensive end. As for Bruce Brown, well, we've seen this fit with the Denver Nuggets before. He's missed a ton of time over the last few seasons due to injury and wasn't in winning situations, but in the 2023 season, he averaged 12 points per game on 48% from the field and 36% from 3 in the regular season, and proved pivotal in the playoffs for the Denver Nuggets. Essentially playing like a power forward in a shooting guard's body, given that he has a 6'9" wingspan. His defensive versatility, ability to make good reads on the ball, and adaptability in short roll situations and in transition made him a massive difference maker for the Nuggets in that title run. Lastly, the Nuggets finally have a good backup for Jokic in Jonas Valanciunas, who is rumored to get bought out and go overseas, but he'll be a Denver Nugget next season. The Nuggets did have whatever was left of DeMarcus Cousins and DeAndre Jordan in the past as backups to Jokic, but Valanciunas is a big body that can rebound well and set screens, while also providing some relief in those non-Jokic minutes because he's still a quality big out there. In terms of where I place the Nuggets in the West, I generally feel that they're the second best team in the West, only to the OKC Thunder in terms of odds of making it out of the conference. They have the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray is an elite performer in the NBA playoffs. They have a good supporting cast, and they'll finally have a full training camp over Coach Adelman.
Thanks, Sly Kai. Now, like you said before, Denver had an amazing offseason, and they did a great job addressing their needs with the Cam Johnson trade and signing guys like Jonas Valanciunas and Bruce Brown. And that's not even to mention the leap that young players like Peyton Watson and Julian Strawther could make. Watson so far in his career has been a good defensive forward, but his offensive game has always been a work in progress. However, he's gotten better every single year, and if he can become more consistent offensively, he'll only make Denver more lethal. And Julian Strawther last year averaged 9 points per game while shooting 35% from deep in 21 minutes per game last year. And with Denver's improved depth, who knows how much playing time he will get. But with that said, I think it is possible that Julian Strawther continues to develop as a good bench piece. And DaRon Holmes will be suiting up for Denver this year, and I was stoked when the Nuggets drafted him, as I thought he could be the backup 5 of the future. But he unfortunately missed all of 2025 with the torn Achilles, but he will be healthy this upcoming year, and while I am unsure about how much playing time he will get, I do think that DaRon Holmes could be a pretty solid player in the future. I also think David Adelman deserves a ton of credit for the job he did last year as the Nuggets head coach. It really shocked me to see Michael Malone fired, as after all, he was their head coach for basically a decade and had helped build this team and won a championship with them. Not to mention, he was fired with just 3 games left in the regular season, and firing a head coach right before the playoffs, it is a pretty questionable move and can really mess up the locker room. But even with this turmoil, David Adelman did a great job getting the Nuggets back on track and helping them overachieve in the postseason. I was especially impressed with how Denver improved defensively under him, as in the regular season, they had a defensive net rating of 116, but in the playoffs, it improved slightly to 114.8. And while that isn't a massive improvement, they looked noticeably better on that side of the ball when you watch the Nuggets, and that was with limited personnel. And all of this led to him being named the full-time head coach in late May, which he 100% deserves. And like Sly Kai said, with an even better roster and a full training camp and offseason with him as a head coach, I think he should do even better in his first full season as Denver's head coach. And even in what was considered an underwhelming season for the Nuggets, they made it to the second round of the playoffs and gave the future NBA champs a serious run for their money. And that was with MPJ performing poorly in the playoffs, largely due to injury and very poor depth. Now the West, it is a much stronger conference compared to the East, and again, they got the reigning champions in the OKC Thunder, who returned virtually the exact same team as they had last year, and that team, well, it's obviously really damn good. But I agree with Sly Kai. Even with how strong the Western Conference is, I think Denver is the second best team in the West. We know the Nuggets can win a championship, as it was just 2 years ago when they reached the top of the mountain. Their starting 5 is still extremely good, and with much improved depth and an offseason under their new head coach, the Nuggets should have a much better regular season in 2026, and maybe this is the year that Denver wins their second championship in the Nikola Jokic era. But hey, that's all I have to say for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, it really does mean a lot to me. Again, make sure you guys do like and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and check me out on social media. The links to my Twitter and Instagram are in the description below. But without further ado, I'm out, you guys.